folks, I've been getting a lot of questions in the FAQ, which is excellent, about book clubs. So I just want to give you a little bit of an overview. So we are in Unit 3, we're halfway through. So this is what the first of Unit 3 looks like. Okay? It talks a little bit about why writers write, what is a book club, book choices, how to preview a text. You've all made your book choices. If you didn't, I assigned one to you. So we're kind of past that. Keep in mind that I have read all of these books before and I've taught all of these books before, some of them multiple times. So please do not rely on some, I don't know, Spark Notes or Schmoop. Good Lord, I do not like Schmoop. That type of thing. And do not rely on a poorly done movie version of it, because we know the book's always better. The book's always more detailed. So make sure you're reading this, because your questions that you post and your reader's journals and your synthesis papers need to reflect that you've done some great reading. Okay. So reading strategies, this is important too, especially if you are a struggling reader. Make sure you look at these to make those text-to-text connections, text-to-self and text-to-world. Okay, it talks about visualizing as well. This comes into play, the questioning grid. I'm sure you've seen this before. At our school, we call it the Q chart, and you're looking for application and synthesis questions, right? The why and the how. Okay, why, will, how, could, that type of thing. So you're looking for that fourth quadrant type of question. It talks about making connections as well, but then this is where you're going to have to preview the content. Keep in mind that I can go in and I can see how much time you've spent on content. Some of you have spent less than 2 hours on content at this point, this is a 110-hour course. So you should be far, far beyond only spending 2 hours in the course at this point. So keep in mind when I do your final mark that I'm going to be looking at how much time you spend on the course, how many discussion posts you've read, all the different nooks and crannies of the course that you may or may not have gone into, how many news announcements you've read, that type of thing. Okay. So for today's discussion, you're going to have a discussion today, the 15th, one the 16th, one the 17th, one the 18th, right? These are the types of discussion questions that you're going to create, and this is going to be the same for all 4 discussions, okay? So you're going to create a matter question, a personal reality question, and an external reality question. So it tells you later on, I think it's down here. Let's go to the discussions. Here we go. Today's discussion tells you that you will submit one of each question and then one question that is a combination question. So you're going to post 4 questions, okay? And then obviously you're going to respond to some of your book club members' questions. Hopefully our book clubs are balanced and hopefully people are contributing. I know in the past we've had some book club discussions where nobody answered anybody's questions, so it's really, really hard to discuss something when nobody's there. So that's what you're going to be posting in your discussion, okay? And there's the criteria there. So always look at this criteria, okay? And here there's 6 different ones. And make sure that it shows a deep understanding and analysis of the question, okay? So that's for the book club discussion. Now, today, and by today I mean July 15th, today you do have an assignment due, and it's a reader's journal. So you're going to do, in this unit, you're going to do 2 reader's journals and 2 synthesis papers, and then an essay. Now, if this were a full semester course, you would be doing a reader's journal and a synthesis paper for each quarter. But because we're doing this in 4 or 5 days, we don't have time for that. So your reader's journal, the focus of that today is going to be the narrative perspective. You cannot just fill in your reader's journal with whatever you like. Each synthesis paper, each reader's journal will have a focus, okay? So today's reader journal, which is your Dropbox, and we know we have to complete this Dropbox because it has the asterisk and the number and another asterisk. Okay, this is the narrative perspective of your novel. I've been asked a lot of questions about how long, how much should I read. We're doing 4 sections, so you should chunk it into that. So if your novel is 200 pages, then it'll be 50 pages per. Right? So today's reader's journal will be the focus of narration. And if you go up here in the content, this is the different types of narrative voice, and then it gives you an explanation and an effect. Okay? So that is going to be the focus of yours. And there's always going to be a sample, okay, of what the reader's journal might look like. You should be familiar with this if you did the analysis, the double entry analysis of The Secret Path. And again, I'm not looking for plot details here, people. Everything needs to be about narration for today, so that needs to be what your focus is. And I don't need to know the plot. I know the plot of Great Gatsby. I know the plot of Kite Runner. I know who all the characters are. I know when someone moved back to Afghanistan. I know all that information, so you just need to give me the narrative voice. Okay, so make sure you are focusing, whether it's a synthesis paper or a reader's journal, make sure you are focusing in it, okay? And you can't do the course without reading through the content. So that's just about a 5-minute synopsis of what you should be doing for today's, and they're going to be like that. So the next days will say July 16th, it'll say, and it's going to be a synthesis paper. It'll be your 11th drop box, and then it will be a discussion questions for July 16th. So that's how it's going to go. So it's fairly formulaic, and it's going to go quickly. So make sure you're contributing every day. Thanks, folks.